Yos, it's Proxy, and today we'll be talking about Anthem of the Heart. Anthem of the Heart is one of, if not, my favorite anime film, even with its release 5 years ago. I have watched Silent Voice, and in my opinion, The Shape of Voice would have probably been a better fit for this movie. So, why isn't Anthem of the Heart's ending a total letdown? And why, because of this, it is one of my favorite anime films? Let me fill you in. Let's first begin with a little bit of context.
Yo, 俺ちょっと成瀬に告白してくるわ。は？
思ったより綺麗なんだ。
After initially watching this, many of you may have thought along the lines of, if this is the ending, I'm guessing anyone can be screenwriters now. And I understand completely. And hey, if you're part of the select few that thought the ending wasn't actually bad because it was realistic, then that's cool. But remember, this is the same studio that brought you this and this. So you know there's something else that pulled these strings. After scratching my head, trying to figure out why June said,
知ってたよ。
after being rejected, things slowly started to click. Let's first rewind back to square one and analyze what Humpty says.
本当の王子様に出会えて、本当のお城に行ける。
本当。でもおしゃべりやめられなかったら。
王子もお城もすべておじゃんだ。
Now, that last part is crucial to take in. And let me emphasize the word crucial. This may be, if not, the main reason that Jun and Takumi do not end up together. Throughout the film, many instances where Jun would fall more for Takumi. She would idealize an image of a prince around him. And yeah, don't get me wrong, there are scenes where Jun likes Takumi as a person. For example, when they're choosing piano songs and she sincerely applauds for him, as like in this scene. But through this idealization, it seems as more that Jun loves more of his prince-like traits rather than his personal traits. We see this literally broken down when Takumi and Natsuki are talking, and Naruse overhears them.
なあ、ニト。
いいから。それ置いて早く成瀬さんとこ行ってあげて。
え、なんでそこで成瀬の名前が出てくんの？
だって好きなんでしょ。成瀬さんのこと。
ちょっと待って、なんだそりゃ。俺は別に成瀬のこと好きとかそんなんじゃない。
At first, it may have seemed that he was doing the typical high schooler thing of denying about liking someone, as probably anyone who's been in high school has done. But then the way the ending turned out, it turned out this wasn't a lie after all. So, with the knowledge of the ending, we can implicitly say that when Jun hears that Takumi doesn't love her but rather is concerned for her well-being, she isn't broken because he doesn't love her, but rather, the prince image of him is broken. Fast forwarding a bit from the previous scene,
痛い。痛い。痛い。
お腹じゃないね。痛いのは胸だ。君は心がおしゃべりすぎるんだ。坂上匠が好きだ好きだ好きだ好きだ好きだ好きだ好き。だからほら。
and quick personal side note before getting back into it. When he explains to her that it's actually her heart aching and not a curse from an egg, I find this to be the real realism of this movie. Okay, and side note. So, according to the egg, or, as we probably should have figured out by now, her personification of her feelings, she is repeatedly saying, I love him, to Takumi. If you were following, you might have noticed that this contradicts what I've been saying, and this completely breaks my interpretation of Jun liking the prince of Takumi. But, let's say we interpreted this differently. Let's say, what if she was in a state of denial? How would you react to seeing an image of someone break down? Well, One way you could recover is to repeat phrases to convince yourself that perhaps such an event never occurred. The process of denial. And June clearly goes through this by feeling the need to repeat "I love him," so that her image of a prince being broken perhaps never occurred either. And this is probably also why the egg decides to show up again. Her belief that the only way to find her prince is with her staying silent is now being defied as we see the egg cracks open. And that may not be all. Another reason that the egg cracks is because she has come to the realization through talking with Takumi. In order for her to ever really find her prince, she will have to release her bonds, and in this case, the zipper on her words. Now, let's jump to the end scene for a hot second.
思ったより綺麗なんだ。
If you paid attention, we can see that the egg's hat flies away after June receives the confession. From where things stand, it is safe to assume that this means that literally the personification of her beliefs has now vanished. From this, rather than the assumption that I've seen a lot lately, which is that Anthem of the Heart ended like this for realism, we can see the greater message that Tatsuyuki may have been aiming for was that with having Daiki ask out June, rather than Tatsuyuki, and having the egg vanish after, it would show that June has completely rejected her egg. In other words, rejecting and understanding her falsely placed guilt on herself. We can safely say this because of her script,
言葉を失ったか。それがお前の罪への罰。みんながお前の声が出ないのを望んでいるんだ。
違う。私そんなこと望んでなんか。
and later in the play when she sings.
みんな私の言葉を嫌ってるからおいおいと泣きながら
Give me a sec. Okay. To wrap things up, the reason that Anthem of the Heart ended this way was to give a greater message of June overcoming her false guilt, and to overcome her adolescence belief that it was because that she was a chatterbox that she couldn't find her prince. And if it ended how the majority of the people wanted it to end, it would have destroyed that whole message of the movie. The main purpose of this video was to explain Anthem of the Heart's flawed ending, which I tried to lay out and hopefully accomplish all my points. And remember, this is all my interpreted analysis of this film. If you actually watched to the end, shout out to you. If you wanted to hear my personal, not technical overview of the film, comment that down below, or drop a couple likes, and I'd be willing to make it. Alright, thanks for listening. Catch y'all later.